Okay. Okay, so I'm just checking in with her here too. When I put my hand right back here behind her ears and just put a little pressure on her, I want her to get soft and put her head down. And what I have with this mare, and they're all different. There's some that'll just totally get soft and just yield to you and get real, you know, you'll feel it to where there's just no resistance. And there's other ones that it's more of a learned behavior. They say, you know what, I know when you do this. See how she kind of rolls her head and tips it to the outside like that? She said, hey, I'll put your head down because it's a learned behavior. I'm going to put my head down because I know what you're asking. But don't think that I'm doing it because I really want to. And, well, shoot, you know, children. There's people like that too, you know. They'll do their job or whatever like that, and you can tell they're not doing it because they like it. They're doing it because they know they have to. So this mare right here, I mean, she's doing what I ask her to do. And, you know, she's okay about it. Put your head down, that a girl. But there's no way that she's saying, heck, I don't mind it, you know. I'm doing it because I like you. She wants to get along. That's just kind of the way she is. And there's some horses that want to go out of their way to please you, and there's other ones that just, I'm going to do my job, then you leave me alone. So that's what I'm looking for right there, is that I need that softness to where if I put my hand on her right there, there'd be no way that I'd have a horse that I'm going to stand on my tiptoes to bridle. And I've had people in the past, shoot, I had a lady that used to bring me, she was in the English world, and I'd get quite a few horses that they were having trouble bridle and that sort of thing, big warm bloods and stuff. So this groundwork that I'm showing you folks right now, it's the same thing that I would use. And I'd be hard pressed to think about a problem that maybe I would have that I'd be working on a horse that I maybe wouldn't start with groundwork on them, because I want that horse to understand that I have the ability to control their feet, and that's what the groundwork does. The flag work too, the desensitizing him and the desensitizing him is just super important. So when I put my hand on her, she needs to get soft. Good. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up here, and I'm going to have her. She's been worked enough. She'll come pick me up on the fence pretty easily. And how you set that deal up here now, it's pretty telling. So when you just wait a second here. You're getting ahead of yourself there, mare. Just chill. Just chill. She needs to just slow her mind down, think about what I'm asking. There. Slow your mind down, think about what I'm asking. Good. Wait. Okay, now I'm going to send her across, and I'm going to bring her right next to me right here, and I'm going to let her relax there. Okay. So how you set this up. This is no different what you can see here. There. Now just relax. I'm just going to get some slack in her rein. I'll just let her chill here. And I'm going to visit a little bit more about this. This is no different. I wouldn't let her stand out there and relax while I'm talking to you, because I've taught her right from the get-go, when I've taught her to pick me up off the fence, is that she doesn't get to relax any place other than right here where I want her to be. But she goes to this spot as a learned behavior and not as one to where that's where the release is and I'm relaxed and I'm calm right here. So it's the same thing if you kind of know what you're looking for. It's the same thing she's doing here and how she comes to being here as when I put my hand on and want her to lower my head. She's saying, I'll go there, but I just assume not. Now how you set it up to where, okay, you'd say, that horse rolled in, went left and right, and then got up next to you. When you're working your horse on the ground, you can kind of fit a little bit more. You can be behind the drive line, you can be in front of the drive line. You can kind of move around and get your horse pretty handy on the groundwork to where they understand you're directing and driving. But once you isolate yourself where you're getting up on the fence, or in this case, I'm on a mounting block right here, what you've done is you've made to where it's pretty telling about how good a job you've done on your groundwork to whether you've got control of your feet or not, because you can't keep shaping it up by where you move your feet. So sometimes you might do this when you're working on them, and you might have to get down and do a little bit more work on the ground to get them to where, okay, operating off your feet. But all I'm doing is this simple right here, is I'm not allowing this horse to rest in any place other than right next to me. So I would have her, maybe I'm going to ask her to move off again to the left, send her hindquarters away, bring her front end through, send her to the right. Hindquarters away, front end through, send her to the left. I'm going to keep her busy right now, going back and forth. And I do it enough to where she starts looking for a change. And the change she's be looking for is to where she gets a little bit of a rest. So I'm making the wrong thing difficult. This is what the wrong thing would be, is her out there working. And the right thing easy, to where now I would soften and I'd say, come close to me here. And I'm going to relax. Now when she gets to this spot right here, I'm going to rub on her. I'm going to make it feel good to her. You can see with her, she's still kind of, I might need to leave. It's okay. There you go. Now from this spot here, I might say, okay, I'd like you to leave again. Thank you. Roll your hindquarters away. Bring your front end through. Hindquarters away. Front end through. Now I'm going to soften. This is me going to position 3 again. I'm not asking for any movement. This is me rolling into position 2 with life. We're going somewhere. I'm in position 2 up here with life. When I want her to come right up next to me, I'm going to soften, and I'm going to position 3. I'm not asking for anything. So she's going to smooth right, she's going to slide right in here, get her feet stopped. Back to work. Slide right in here and get your feet stopped. Good. Relax. Okay. So it's the same thing when you're on the ground as you are up here. So this isn't just a trick for old folks to be able to get on their horse or a mounting block. When you get yourself in this position, if you had one that maybe was hard to bridle or something, well, they can't get tall enough to get away from you. Plus, let's say you're going to want a rope on them, that sort of thing, and your horse is a little bit goosey. Let me just hop down here, grab my flag. If your horse is a little bit goosey, you might not know what that term means. That term means that they're a little bit nervous and bothered. Well, here's a real good opportunity to get your horse better about that sort of thing without maybe putting yourself in danger. You can see this, she's scared of things. She's a horse. She's scared of things that are above her. So I'm going to move her around here. I'm going to bring her back where I need her to be. So right now I just keep her busy. Okay. Keep her busy. She needs to park right here beside me. Good, now I'm going to relax. I want her to feel of me. Now I'm going to move, this is the same thing I did on the ground. This is the desensitization I'm talking about. But the difference here that we're seeing is that from her point of view, from what she's seeing from her eye, is very similar to what it would be like if I'm sitting on her back. So she's seeing the flag above her, around, and she looks up and she sees me here as well. So she can get real comfortable about that flag being above her and me being in the same position that I'd be, or very close to the same position that I would be if I was sitting on her. And what's real telling, and what's really is probably the biggest deal about this, to where it works so well, is if you were sitting on your horse's back and you'd done your work on the ground and you got them to where you thought, you know what, I think this mare is pretty good about the flag. I think she's good enough that maybe she can tolerate me doing it on her back. and then you stepped up on her back and took the flag out and shook it, and your horse got real tight and bothered, it'd be the natural response for the human is maybe your horse grabbed and then you grabbed, to where your horse got bothered and then you got bothered. That's just your natural response. And what you need to be when you're working with horses quite often is you need to be a good actor. So when that horse grabbed itself and got bothered, your response needed to be to where you just sat there relaxed and said to the horse, hey, there's nothing to worry about. But that's easier said than done, a human being a human. But the thing about it is when you're sitting on the fence or standing up here on this mounting block, if my horse was to get bothered, I'll turn it up enough here that I probably, there, see, she got bothered? My emotions didn't change. I'm relaxed. So all I do is I say, hey, that's okay, mare. Come on back here. We'll start over again. There you go. You're in a good spot. I maybe need you a little bit closer here yet. Because if I start allowing her to maybe be standing off a little further than I'd like, whoa, to get on her, then the next time I do this, she'd be a little further off, then a little further off. But I can do this as much as it takes. And if she gets bothered, all I do is put her back. So I don't get bothered. And that's why that works so good. And we're going to do more of this. I can show you how, like with a slicker. I can show you the same thing with a rope, where you can just build on it. So like I said before, when I was working her on the ground, she's not good about the flag. She's got to where she could tolerate it. But it just makes perfect sense to me to have them get good about this sort of thing when you're sitting on the fence and you're safe. If they get bothered, you don't get bothered, and you can just keep working on it in a relaxed frame of mind, because if they feel you getting bothered, they say, you know what, I kind of had a feeling that there was something to worry about, and you're telling me just how, by the way you're reacting, there is something to worry about. So a lot of really good stuff can be accomplished getting your horse handy on the ground, handy on the good of your lead, handy on the end of your lead, and then doing this fence work on them. It's just real important, and just makes for a safer, handier horse.